Hi, Mom. It's Marshall. Happy Mother's Day 2014. So I thought this year for Mother's Day, I would do something creative because you know how creative I am, and it's something that comes free, God-given ability. It's not something I have to pay for. And I thought the best thing I can do to show love to you guys from so far away is to do something creative like this and show my creativity and some of my passions. And so this video is not an e-card as I've tricked you into believing, or it's not money or anything. It's actually me answering questions that I think you could appreciate knowing about your son. Things from my past memories, funny stories, things that I've come to learn, and so on. And just to let you know that your son is making it. You have done a great job at raising me, and that I am making it on my own, and hopefully making an impact in the world that I live in, though I am so far away from you and you're not able to see it or hear about it every day. So coming up are questions that I've come up with that I think you'll really love, so enjoy. My favorite color is definitely, and it's always been, blue. It has never changed. I love its purity. I love its gentleness. I love its brilliance. It doesn't go on everything, and I definitely don't choose everything blue. I don't choose blue car, blue accessories, blue computer stuff, blue decor. I definitely don't do that. But when it comes to choose anything that identifies me, I just find trust in the color blue. Any other color, I have to weigh out what options there are. The blue, I can always trust blue. Blue is my favorite color. Funny story about the color blue actually is in second grade we were coloring, and for whatever reason, I believe that the color light blue crayon, like a pastel blue, if I were to eat it, it would actually taste like a Hershey's chocolate kiss, the swirl of white chocolate and chocolate. In my mind, I hadn't had it made that the texture of a crayon combined with its color would taste just like a Hershey's chocolate kiss. Fortunately enough for all my parents, I didn't actually try that, so we're all good. My favorite style of music is Christian music. It used to be country, but my favorite genre is Christian. When I first started listening to radio around 12 or 13, I believe it's when I heard country music, and I fell in love with that. And every song told a story, and I used a lot of those stories and a lot of the soundtracks of country music to get through a lot of experiences growing up. So country always has a place in my heart, but in college I switched to Christian because it saved me, and it took me to a new understanding of my discipleship with Christ. I started pursuing traditional, hymnal, gospel, contemporary music, contemporary Christian music, and I stuck with that as my number one. I said country will always have a place in my heart, and it does bring me joy to go back to it time and time again to listen to old stories I'm familiar with, but I do actively pursue all Christian related music. Yes, my favorite dish or meal used to be pizza. Why? Because every time you mentioned pizza, all of us kids got ridiculously excited. It was something we could eat with our hands. We didn't all have to sit down at the dinner table to do it, like a party time. And with the structure of our household growing up, very nice to not have to worry about the strictness of a sit-down meal. Pizza was just great. It just made us all feel laid back. But it has changed in my adult years. Ever since I learned how to cook, one of my first dishes that I learned how to make completely, fettuccine alfredo. That has been my favorite ever since, just because I can customize it the way I want. The way she made it was great. The way I make it was great. Every time I go to a restaurant, that's what I order. You can change it up. You can add shrimp, seafood of any kind. Just love it. It's my new favorite, chicken fettuccine alfredo. My favorite city, state, I think would have to be, well, to visit and not live would be Destin, Florida. White beaches, clear waters, plenty to do. The Strip was amazing. The people were great. Made some friends out there. But I just love the atmosphere. Out of all the places I've lived, between Texas, Chicago, Oklahoma, the place I choose definitely above all others is Texas. Wouldn't go back to Chicago. I hate the weather in Nebraska. It doesn't cause that many problems. Things don't change up on you every 5 seconds. On top of that, the friends I've made down there, acquaintances, the business partnerships, colleagues, and the things that I've had to do down there. There's so much things to do, especially in Dallas area. So the place I'd love to live again, and would choose to live above all the other places I've ever been, is Texas, and more specifically Dallas, Texas. I remember is with Mom, with Veronica. I think it was just us girls day. We went out to Chili's. I know you remember the story. And I was sitting there just trying to entertain you guys, as I always do, pretending I could do magic. And I had the fork hidden in my hand, and it was holding onto a knife, and I was acting like the knife was floating. And of course, you guys all acted mildly impressed. Thanks a lot. And all of a sudden, the waitress comes and stands behind me and is watching me do my whole fake routine. You guys just start laughing. And I'm like, it's not that good of a trick, guys, but okay. And so I get really elaborate with the knife and fork magic and the floating knife and stuff like that. I'm like, ooh, look, didn't know I could do that, did you? The entire time you guys are just cracking up, and then all of a sudden I hear, that's a good trick, sir. The waitress is standing right there. And she watched the whole thing. Just say it would have been impossible to get her number at that time. That's the funny story that I really remember off the top of my head about Mom. Or with Mom. Yeah, with Mom. One thing I know I did for my mom, we were going to have our first Christmas without a whole family. We were just kind of underfunded for a regular Christmas. So one of the things that I thought around Christmas time, to get as many presents as we used to have with the whole family, so that way it felt normal. It was going to be an easy transition from having a father figure there to not having one, to not having all the money that we had before, to enjoy Christmases like we used to. So what I decided to do was to go to the dollar store and purchase 100 gifts. That it didn't matter if they were cheap or dinky, that Mom would be overwhelmed, and I think she really appreciated it. At least I hope she did. By her face, I know she really did enjoy it, and the kid, brother and sister enjoyed it too. Just to see that she was happy. So we all enjoyed that. One of the things that I remember my mother doing for me, it's not necessarily one thing, it's a multitude of things, it's over and over. And I do remember all the times that she stuck up for me when everyone else was against me. I can't thank her enough for doing that. Had I not had any support and believing everything I did was wrong, I just don't know how it would have made it or turned out as well as I have. So it's not one thing I remember, but it's every single time she had my back. So many times. I remember those. Any of the latest accomplishments that I would have achieved, you may not know about. With my business, I actually own the entire business now. I own 100% of it. I've signed the paperwork with the legal clinic showing that I own the full company. I also have refiled paperwork with the state to show that I completely own it and there's no other partners. I am currently working on getting my EIN, the identification number for my company, and I have purchased assets for the company, laptop, gear, things that we did not have, that I have made leaps and bounds achieving and grabbing for the company because I want it so badly, that you may not know about. I'm really excited about. One thing I really appreciate you, Mom, for is some of the qualities and characteristics and personality traits that you've given me and instilled in me. A lot of those include helping others, being cheerful about helping others, always lending yourself to other people and giving them all your attention, and just trying to make their day. Laughing at myself. I can't tell you how much I do that and how often I do that and others do that. All my friends with me, of course. Sometimes I just don't know how I would have gotten so far, one, without being able to express sense of humor for all the stupid, silly things that we do ourselves in the course of life. And I appreciate that, as well as just consideration. That's my biggest one. I don't know how I learned, so it has to be from you. I've just met so many people in my life who just do not look at other people and think, how can I help them? What are they misunderstanding? How can I better be of service to them? There's nobody I have met who does that, so I must have learned it from somewhere, because it's obviously not a trait everyone possesses. I just have to say thank you so much for that, because though it's not always appreciated by other people, I appreciate having it, so that way one day somebody else will see all that I have to offer consideration-wise and appreciate it for really how rare it is and how precious it is that I could lend myself and my mind and my thoughts to other people and other things so well and so often, even over my own self. Those, Mom, are 3 things that I really appreciate you for, and I know came from you, and I can't thank you enough. Mom, I just want to say thank you so much for raising me the way you did, for doing an outstanding job as you have done. I appreciate every little bit of it now more than I ever have. And though I may not always be able to show it, and though I may not have always shown it well when I did, it's definitely been a blessing. It's always been appreciated. Happy Mother's Day. I love you.